Children, come back to online classes. History first chapter, French Revolution. Here, a growing middle class envisages an end to privileges. In the past, peasants and workers had participated in revolts against increasing taxes and food scarcity, but they lacked the means and programs to carry out full scale measures that would bring about a change in the social and economic order. This was left to those groups within the Third Estate who had become prosperous and had access to the education and new ideas. The 18th century witnessed the emergence of social groups termed the middle class, who earned their wealth through an expanding overseas trade and from the manufacture of goods such as woolen and silk textiles that were either exported or brought by the richer member of the society. In addition to merchants and manufacturers, the Third Estate included professions such as lawyers or administrative officers. All of these were educated and believed that no group in society should be privileged by birth. Rather, a person's social position must be depend on his merit. These ideas, envisaging a society based on freedom and equal laws and opportunities for all, were put forward by philosophers such as John Locke. Let us see the role of philosophers in the French Revolution. Ideas of having societies based on freedom and equal laws and opportunities for all were put forward by the French philosophers. First, let us see John Locke. Locke wrote two treatises of government. In this book, he criticized the divine and absolute rights of the rulers. Second philosopher is Jean Jacques Rousseau. Rousseau has written his viewpoints in his book, The Social Contract. He had put forward the idea of formation of a government based on a social contract between people and their representatives. Third philosopher in the French Revolution is Montesquieu. His ideas are proposed in his book, The Spirit of the Laws. According to him, there should be division of power between three important organs, that is, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The ideas of these philosophers were discussed by common people in saloons and coffee houses and inspired them to fight for their rights. The model of the government was put into force in the USA. After the 13 colonies declared their independence from Britain, the American Constitution and its guarantees of individual rights was an important example for political thinkers in France. The ideas of these philosophers were discussed intensively in saloons, coffee houses, and spread among people through books and newspapers. These were frequently read aloud in groups for the benefit of those who could not read and write. The news that Louis XVI planned to impose further taxes to be able to meet the expenses of the state generated anger and protest against the system of privilege. Louis XVI had to increase taxes for reason we have learnt in the previous section. In France of the old regime, the monarch did not have the power to impose taxes according to his will alone. Rather, he had to call a meeting of the Estate General, which would then pass his proposal for new taxes. The Estate General was a political body to which the three estates sent their representatives. However, the monarch alone could decide when to call a meeting of this body. The last time it was done was in 1614. On 5th May 1789, Louis XVI called together an assembly of the Estate General to pass proposal for a new taxes. A resplendent hall in Versailles were prepared to host the delegates. The first and second estate sent 300 representatives each, who were seated in rows facing each other on two sides, while the 600 members of the third estate had to stand at the back. The third estate was represented by its more prosperous and educated members. Peasants, artisans, and women were denied entry to the assembly. However, their grievances and demands were listed in some 40,000 letters which the representative had brought with them. Voting in the Estate General in the past had then conducted according to the principle that each estate had one vote. This time too, Louis XVI was determined to continue the same practice, but members of the third estate demanded that voting now be considered by assembly as a whole, where each member would have one vote. This was one of the democratic principles put forward by philosophers like Rousseau in his book Social Contract. When the king rejected this proposal, members of the third estate walked out of the assembly in protest. The representatives of the third estate viewed themselves as spokesmen for the whole French nation. On 20th June, they assembled in the hall of an indoor tennis court in the ground of Versailles. They declared themselves a national assembly and swore not to disperse till they had drafted a constitution for France that would limit the powers of the monarch. They were led by Mirabeau and Abbassius. Mirabeau was born in a noble family, but was convinced of the need to do away with a society of feudal privilege. He brought out a general and delivered powerful speeches to the crowds assembled at Versailles. The Constitution of 1791 vested the power to make laws in the National Assembly, which was indirectly elected. That is, citizens voted for a group of electors who in turn chose the National Assembly. Not all citizens, however, had the right to vote. Only men about 25 years of age who paid taxes equal to at least 3 days of a laborer's wages were given to the status of active citizen. That is, they were entitled to vote. The remaining men and women were classed as passive citizens. To qualify as an elector and then as a member of the assembly, a man had to belong to the highest bracket of taxpayers.